aspect of prospects, as well as, once again, focusing on this game coming up. First off, though, fellas, the major news of the day involving the Toronto Blue Jays and Bo Bichette. You saw they made that move for Paul DeJong as an insurance move, and the word coming down today, Bichette placed in the 10-day IL. What they're saying, Alex, is it could have been worse, but at the very least, he'll be on the IL. DeJong provides insurance.
Yeah, he provides insurance, but patellar tendonitis, look, I've had that. I've had it several times over the course of my career being a catcher. It's extremely painful, but something you could definitely come back from and manage. So, I mean, they're talking about, like, they're hoping it's just the IL stint, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that he's got to have to manage over the course of the rest of the year. So, DeJong is a good backup, fallback plan for the Blue Jays, and that was the right move.
And in fact, the timing was critical, Pete, because the injury happens Monday.
Yeah. Therefore,
you can still trade for DeJong. Otherwise, if it happened tonight, let's say, what are you going to do? Espinal, Merrifield, you kind of mix and match.
Yeah, you're right. A little bit of a blessing in disguise. But here's my message to the Blue Jays. Somebody's got to step up. We see it time and time again. We saw it with the Philly run. Bryce goes down. Who steps up next? Bo Bichette, heart and soul of that Blue Jay team, certainly this season. George Springer's been scuffling in a big way. He's too good of a player to be doing this down the stretch. Everybody is scuffling health-wise. You got to power through. Where's Vlad at? DeJong's going to come help. But like you said, if they're going to make that run, the players around got to step up.
Other news involving the Chicago Cubs and Marcus Stroman. So the Cubs not selling, bought a little bit actually, getting Jeimer Candelario, but this is not great news for them. Marcus Stroman, who's been their best pitcher, plays in the 15-day IL with right hip inflammation. So much for Huey Lewis, and it's hip to be square. In this case, Stroman and the Cubs have really made things interesting in the National League Central, and Stroman particularly. Pete, if you saw his numbers a month ago, it was sub-3 ERA. It's ballooned up recently, but he keeps the ball on the ground. How do the Cubs overcome this loss? How tough is that right hip inflammation?
Yeah, this doesn't look good for the Cubs. The Cubs are making a run, playing really good baseball, but Marcus Stroman has been their #1 guy, really doing it. You see, I just said it earlier, the guys at this time of year, it's go time. It's fun time to watch baseball. Let me tell you what. All guys are struggling with some bits and pieces of injuries, trying to stay on the field, trying to stay healthy, and do what they normally do. Awfully tough.
Look, and they have their rotation, too. I mean, obviously, Marcus, he's been like kind of their #1 guy, like you've been saying. But, you know, the emergence of Justin Steele, Jameson Taillon's been throwing the ball really well.
That's right.
Drew Smiley picking up some big, important innings there. They have guys there to be able to kind of withstand this and keep you right there where they need to be, hopefully for, you know, Stroman to get back and pitch some big games down the stretch in September.
One thing Marcus Stroman clearly hates is fish and chips. Ever since the London series, a 9 ERA. No more trips to England for me. In the meantime, some highlights here for you right now as we check out the Angels taking on the Braves. Bottom of the third, Ronald Acuna Jr. is up at 2-1, and Acuna continues his marvelous season.
Man.
Yeah, Giolito got absolutely introduced to this entire Atlanta Braves offense that is as good as anybody in the league. Had real trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark.
25 homers for Acuna. Bottom 4 Braves now 3-1. Michael Harris with 2-1. That's a base to left 2-run score. Braves now up 5-1.
Good piece of hitting, getting on top of that fastball going the other way like that.
And Harris has been much better. Later in the inning, Braves up 6-1. Austin Riley, that's a 2-run home run. He's got 25.
They don't stop coming. Austin Riley, and then who you face the very next batter is Matt Olson. What's he do? Change up middle. Looks like an old Alex Avila right there.
Nice.
That is a rocket out to left field. 9-1 Braves at this point.
I appreciate that, but I never come close to hitting 50
You did off me. You did off me, pal.
So Olson's 37th home run of the season. The Braves go up 9-1 at that point in time, and they just clobbered the Angels 12-5. As Jake said, Giolito introduces the right word, 9 earned, as he got bamboozled over 3 2/3. But our question is this: what's the greater likelihood, as you put 60 seconds here on the clock, Ronald Acuna Jr. 40-40, or Matt Olson going for 60 home runs? Alex, what do you got?
Well, I think it's a lock. Pretty much Acuna's getting 40-40. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, he finds his power stroke, and then it comes in bunches. So I think that's in there for sure. I can't believe that. The home runs for Olson's a big thing for sure. But I'll be really interested to see what he ends up RBI total at the end of the year. That'll be impressive.
Right now in that category as well.
Hey, can we talk about the sheer fact that we're talking about 2 guys in a lineup, and we're asking if one guy's going to hit 60 and if the other guy's got to go 40-40. There's also Riley and a ton of other guys in the lineup. I think both have a real chance of both. I would not be surprised. Here's what I was worried about last year. Aaron Judge. Why do they keep pitching it to him? You have to pitch to somebody in this lineup. Matt Olson continues to be pitched to. he continues to hit the ball out of the ballpark at a high rate.
Yeah, there's just too much depth right now. But I'm with Alex. If Acuna's already at 25 home runs, 15 more bombs, the steals is already there. It feels like it's a formality at this point.
He can get his power stroke. Usually those homers come in bunches.
Yeah.
And he can get going. He can get a nice little run on. I mean, I definitely can see it happen.
But this guy could hit 60 homers, driving like 140. I mean, that's
Nuts.
That's nuts. All right, next up here, we have more highlights here for you. As you check what's happening with the Guardians and the Astros, top of the second, Gabriel Arias up with bases loaded. And the double to left as the Guardians take a 2-0 lead. Cleveland was quiet around the deadline. Some concerns why they traded Aaron Savali, but see what they can do. Bottom of second, Astros trailing at 2-0. Chas McCormick.
What a day he had.
14 home runs this year. That ties the game at 2 with one swing of the bat. To Alex's point, he wasn't done. Bottom of 6, McCormick leading off. And this time, it's his second of the game.
We just talked about the Atlanta Braves lineup. When you talk about the depth of the Houston lineup, and they're getting this kind of production from Chas McCormick, and he's growing into a stud player. You talk about all the other names. This Houston team looks like they're locked and loaded to make another deep run.
Top of 9, Astros of 3-2. Ryan Presley on for the save. Runner on for Stephen Kwan. And for Presley, love me tender. As the Astros win this game, 3-2 is your final. Prime for another run, so they get Justin Verlander, and Framber goes out and throws a no-hitter. This time McCormick with a couple home runs as the Astros take care of business 3-2 against the Guardians. I think, Pete, you kind of hit on it. What's the ceiling right now from this Astros team? As Dan Plesac said to us yesterday, 4 words: in Dusty, we trusty.
Yeah, no, look, that's the truth. When they go out and make the move at the deadline to reacquire Justin Verlander, the experience that this club has from top to bottom, you go out and you add more experience with Justin in basically the same team that you did it with last year. Once you get in, they're going to get in. Now starting to play those games, there's no panic. And these guys have been in postseason game after postseason game. You look at the bullpen and the depth that they have there, that's really what wins in the postseason. Combined all of that with the experience of still wearing the belt. These guys, it's their title until somebody takes it away from them, and they're going to earn it.
I'm looking forward to the race between them and the Rangers down the stretch for this division. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it's going to be a great matchup all the way through.
Well, 2 former teammates, Scherzer and Verlander, 2 guys that he caught very well.
How about them? Teammates, then not teammates, teammates again. Now, I mean, it's just,
It's like,
you can't make this up.
I was about to say, it's like an on-again, off-again relationship. In front, we're back on, we're back off again. By the way, what other thought of McCormick? 1,200 OPS since the start of July. One guy you don't talk about on that Astros team.
Right.
He's been raking for them. All right, next now, when you look at these wild card mix right now, so you've got the Red Sox, you've got the Yankees, you've got the Mariners, you've got the Angels. I mean, of those teams, Alex, which one has the best chance of getting in?
Man, well, Boston's a really interesting team for me, but I think my heart goes to the Angels because I want to see Ohtani in there. Good friends with Phil Nevin. Want him to have that opportunity as well. Mike Trout in the postseason. I think as a fan, I would like to see that happen. I like kind of Boston's team right now, the way they've been playing lately. But I'm going to go with the Angels just because, as a fan, I would love to see it.
And they've certainly made the moves, right? They've been the most active, getting Grichuk, getting
They're going for it.
Giolito, Reynaldo Lopez. Pete?
Look, let's scratch what Giolito did today. I'm hopping on his Angel train. It is an emotional call for me. But Ohtani seems to be wanting to will his team there. We can hold off and you get Mike Trout. They're in the middle of a gauntlet of a schedule right now, and it's going to be that way to the end. But you're right. When they add Crone, when they add Grichuk, you get Trout back around some of the Nitos and the young players. Mickey Moniak starting to play.
And Heath's been good.
That's right. Giolito falls in behind Anderson, and now you're behind Ohtani. This team's going to make a real run. Fingers crossed for them getting in.
And the Red Sox, they're going to get Sale back, Whitlock back at some point.
Look, this team is sneaky good, and they've got a lot of guys coming back. Whitlock's been really good, and Pavetta's been really good of late. You get Whitlock and Sale back, Bayo and Cutter. Yeah. This offense is doing what you see out in Seattle. 6, 7 runs on a nightly basis. They're coming.
It's been fun to see. All right, a look now. Tyler Glasnow, Monday's winning pitcher at Ballpark Camp presented by NTT, the innovation partner of Major League Baseball. Yankee Stadium is the home of a star-studded pitching matchup between probably the AL Cy Young Award frontrunners in Shane McClanahan against Garrett Cole, which brings us to our question today. Who is the best starting pitcher in the American League and why? Hashtag MLB Tonight. Let us know right now as you tweet. We'll collect some of your tweets right now. Yeah, listen, now that JB's back, got to throw him in the conversation, right? As he makes his return to Houston. Second verse, same as the first. We're about to find out if that is the case for Houston and Verlander. What else? Matthew saying, Framber Valdez. Listen, after he threw that no-hitter, I mentioned Stroman, how good he is at keeping the ball on the ground. Valdez is the equivalent in the American League. Every single time, 60% of his pitches, ground ball rate, always very strong for Valdez. He's been great in the playoffs as well. And from Mike Carbone, Garrett Cole, because he gets negative run support and leads the league in ERA. Garrett Cole has never won a Cy Young Award, but clearly he has been worth every dollar so far off this Yankee team. Perhaps this is the year he'll get rewarded with that Cy Young Award. His numbers so far, they don't lie. 9-2, 2.64 ERA, over 136 in the third innings. McClanahan was having a lights-out year, but since coming back off that IL stint, ERA over 6, which is why his ERA is now at 3. However, 11-1 record overall, 111 innings. As we welcome back in Jake Peavy, let's talk first about Garrett Cole looking as good as he ever has.
Garrett Cole is as good as he's ever been. I'm going to put up a board, and we're going to show you some numbers that talk about this. But you talk about Garrett Cole from 22 to 23, a lower ERA almost by a run. His home runs, look at the down. Ks per 9, people aren't happy about that being down. I'm about to show you why. Here's what I really want you to harp on. 99 plus. 257 last year, Adnan, of 99-mile-an-hour plus fastballs, only 27. He's picking and choosing his spot. Let's go to the breakdown. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. When you get the experience that Garrett Cole has, you constantly tweaking. I'm watching him now in 1-2 counts. Just do what he has to do. That's 96. It's not 99. That's a 94-mile-an-hour little cutter. Again, in a 3-2 count when he had to throw a strike, you're watching it. 98, almost up to that 99 plus, but again, 90-mile-an-hour backdoor cutter. What I'm seeing from Garrett Cole is pitchability, experience, him being able to pick and choose when he gets it. Almost like Justin Verlander used to do as a young kid in Detroit. You'd watch him build up to bigger moments in the game. Now watch him right here get this double play ball in a big situation. We can get the ball hit on the ground. Can you still strike him out when you need to? Yes, I can. Second and third, one out, got to have a punch out. I've got it. That's 2 in a row right there. Aroldis Garcia, big RBI man. These are all punch outs with runners in scoring position when guys need to just put the ball in play. He's still got it. When he needs 97 to 100, the big boy reaches back. He still makes perfect pitches for the most part. I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing of Garrett Cole. You're watching a guy slowly work through his big league career. Here's what's the most important, Adnan.
The durability is amazing.
That's it. Since he showed up and signed this contract, there's been no pitcher out there any more than Garrett Cole. Not only has he been dominating the Cy Young contender every year, he's been counted on time and time again. Load the wagon. He is a pack mule. I love it. Show the other board. Notable Yankees. You want to know why the Yankees are struggling? In the monitor right here, you see Garrett Cole has spent 0 days on the IR. This is absolutely nothing against Giancarlo, Judge, LeMahieu. There's been countless other Yankees not been on the field. Garrett Cole, number 45, has been a constant. I know it all hasn't been great. This kid is a stud. He's about to punch his ticket, I believe, to his first Cy Young ever. Going to start in the Bronx tonight.
It's tough to be worth $324 million, but Garrett Cole has done that. He's been the guy. Now, for McClanahan, a pitcher who I love, he has not been the same since coming back from that back injury. How much has that impacted him?
Well, it's impacted him in a big way. I'm going to try to show it to you a little bit here. It's scary to me, Adnan, when you start talking about a pitcher's back. Let's show Shane McClanahan when he's right. Just watch the conviction that these are thrown with and watch the finish on the pitch. That's unhittable. Here's the fastball. Big-time conviction, explodes up in the zone. Here's the changeup. When it's good, you can just see the conviction. Now on June 20th, we see he gets taken out of a game. We start to worry about him. We find out that it's his back. Here's his next start in Seattle. And just look, I'm going to show you, again, in real time, you can just see right here, the finish isn't there. He's not letting it go right at the end with the conviction. Watch it slow down. And you see the break on the ball. It's just not Shane McClanahan. I'm not making excuses for him, but since he's been back, you're battling through these injuries we talked about at this time of season. Guys are out there hurting. Shane McClanahan is working through some back injury and hadn't been himself. When he is right, this is what you see. 100 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Big-time conviction. The changeup falls right off that. Look at the fastball and watch this changeup right off of it. Absolutely unhittable. When he's right, he's as good as anybody in the league. He hasn't been right. Let's look tonight when he gets out there, see the convictions. You're going to see it right here. First 16 starts, untouchable. Last 4, since the back has been an issue, we've had issues on the mound. Who do we get tonight? The Tampa Bay Rays need the first guy who was in the first half to show up. But again, people just can't be stressed enough. Everybody at this time of year, when you start to pile up the innings that these guys have, you're hurting. You're praying that nothing goes too terribly wrong to keep you from going out there. But even when you're out there, you're battling through some injuries. Shane McClanahan has certainly done that. Hopefully he turns the tide tonight.
Yeah, the top 3 for the Rays rotation is impressive. When you have McClanahan, Glasnow, Eflin, that makes you feel pretty good.
It does, but look, they just went and got Savali in a big move, gave up a huge prospect. The health